it up this week by starting a new one, which is good.
Yeah, that's good. We live and learn.
That's exactly correct. Come on. We're here, Karen. I wouldn't leave you alone. Not when you have all those cool Star Wars cards anyway.
What?
There we are. Karen hit me up last week and was like, I'm not getting notifications.
Ooh.
So I made sure that I shot
Biggest
her.
fan, it's got to get notifications.
Right? And you know, we need Caleb in there.
Yep.
I haven't seen Caleb in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, he hasn't sent me any messages or posted anything. I hope he's all right.
I've seen him like things. And today is Andrew Prince's birthday, so make sure we wish him once we're live.
Today is my youngest daughter's birthday.
Is it really?
Yep, Addison turns 11 today. I have no more small children in my house. I may have cried on the way to work this morning.
Well, you're still there.
Yes, I'm still there. My wife will tell you I'm the biggest kid here.
That's right. That's exactly correct. How are you, Karen? Karen, I sat there and I looked at those. I looked at those cards and I wanted to buy them so bad.
Karen's those are Topps cards. She sent me pictures of them.
Yeah. I'm trying so hard not to collect anything new. I'm trying to get things out of my house.
Oh, and E.T.? I remember those cards. I really feel old now.
I had Grease cards. Like with John Travolta. My mom still has some.
My mom loves Grease. And so does Lou, if anybody didn't know that.
All right. Well, let's get started and we'll see how this night goes. Hey guys, and welcome to the But Mostly Disney podcast. Tonight I thought we'd change things up. Andrew's here from Charleston, South Carolina.
Hello, everybody.
And though we are always welcome. I don't think that's a word.
Welcome.
We are happy to talk about Disney stuff, and we usually pick a topic. I just got back from Lou Mongello, so there's definitely a Disney connection there, some connective tissue, put it all together from his Momentum Weekend, which is really something he's done. I believe this is his 9th one. And his whole idea is it's really about him sharing what he's done. And we'll talk a little bit about that and about, doing like Andrew and I are doing and trying to make our passion a business. We don't overtly ask for money or charge for anything, but it's not free to do all this, time and travel and equipment and all kinds of stuff. So trying to make this into a little business and maybe we'll run through something like that. But what I hope is that, if it's not Disney, we all love something, right? We all are passionate. Andrew's got his mouse gears, which combines his love for Disney and cars, right?
Yes, I do.
And so we've got these passions and we all go to work 9 to 5 because we have bills to pay and mortgages. And, my degree is actually in psychology and I did counseling, which is I would do for no money. I would do that for free. But I had all these kids and I had to pay for them. And then they were in private school and now they're in college. So I can't afford to completely just throw it all into the wind and go out and jump into my passion. But there are some avenues out there to at least make it a hobby that maybe funds itself. And that's really my goal, right?
Yep,
so
mine as well. I
tried to get Andrew to come this week. It's tough. It started on Thursday. So Thursday through Sunday, Thursday night, a little, just kind of social check-in. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, speakers on all kinds of things. And it's not just content creation, though it's probably geared heavily towards that. But the things you come away with, you could really, use for any business. Any application. There was There's an OBGYN there, a chiropractor, all these folks, most of them with some kind of Disney touchstone, if that's the word I want, that brought them all together. And certainly Lou is the glue that holds us all together. But it's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I've personally, this is before I really got to know Lou, but I did a one-on-one call with him, and it wasn't about my YouTube channel. It wasn't about anything Disney. It was about my 9 to 5 job and getting my employees that I had on board with what I was changing. So everything he does and everything in those meetings, I haven't been to one. I'm going to go to the one next year, one to go this year. I'm sure you can use in any day-to-day practice for any job, any avenue you want to go in, whether it's cutting grass to being a lawyer. I'm sure you can find a purpose to go to it.
It's
Plus, you're in
absolutely,
Orlando.
yeah, and then you're in Orlando.
You're in Orlando.
It is true, and that's the thing, right? We love these things, and we put a lot of time into them. I mean, the amount of time that I've spent on Disney before I tried to do a podcast, which I'll explain as well. I think we might have earlier on, but really the YouTube channel was what I started with. I wanted to. I've been taking videos anyway. I was actually looking through some today, and there are literally some that I can't believe I even took without having a YouTube channel. It's kind of odd. And I love this stuff and I want more of it in my life. And of course, it's expensive, right? So it's hard to sit there and say, oh, I'm going to go to Disney. Well, now I can pretend it's work. So let's just get Lou out of the way. Lou is a podcaster, does a great job, has built a great community, which is what we're trying to do here. And he does video, but he also does speaking engagements and one-on-one business coaching. And he was an attorney up in New Jersey, quit his job, moved to Orlando, wrote a book on a challenge, I believe, from his wife. And, spent the last 20 years talking about Disney and helping folks achieve their dreams, which is really cool. So he's got this Momentum weekend. It's limited to 50 folks, and he brings in several speakers on different things. You go, there's a giant workbook that you get, and you come away with an actionable plan on what you can do. And I don't want to speak for everyone there, but you come away really motivated. Like we got home late last night, bad traffic driving back from Orlando, and I've been up all day doing stuff for all my jobs, not just this, because I do have to pay bills. But it really, really motivates you. And last year was the first time I think I got home and I felt like, okay, maybe this will work. And look, talking about money, it feels weird, right? Because what I'm trying to do here is honestly just share what I love with people, right? I love watching Disney videos. I love listening to Disney podcasts, and I love talking to Disney people. And so at the very purest form of this, all I'm trying to do is create another spot where we can go when Lou's busy, right? I wanted to be really positive. There's lots of negative out there, and I don't want to steal it. I have to think of something else, but choose the good, for lack of a better thing. And that's what drew me to Lou. And then Lou, along with others, Adam the Woo and Tim Tracker and some of these other folks that did it, I thought, well, hey, I can stand in front of a camera and talk too much. Why not? Why not jump in? Last year at Momentum, I kind of just started listening to smart people there and following what they said to do. I'm in Virginia, so I'm not at the parks all the time. And they're like, oh, we'll do a live podcast. So to really increase the traffic to YouTube, which is exactly what I did. So it was kind of a fluke. I really didn't expect it to last long. And then Andrew chimed in after the first 2 episodes, which were horrible. It was just me. Said, do you want to co-host? I said, yes, please. And this is episode 45. So, out of basically a year of doing it, we haven't missed that. It's only 7 weeks we've missed. That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. And we decided that, I'll go ahead and say it, we're going to push hard we're not going to push hard. We're going to do it every Tuesday. We're not going to skip any days and go in between. If we can't make it, then we'll put a video out. I'm sure Tater put a video out and said, hey, sorry, no show tonight. We'll press on to the next week. But Tuesday night's going to be our night. Lou's
That's
got
right.
Wednesday. We got Tuesday.
I feel like trying to jump all around doesn't work.
No.
So we're going to try to make some changes to make it a little more consistent. But again, look, it's just the two of us having a good time. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Yeah, Karen, we need to have you back on. And Karen says her passion is to go back and work at Disney in lots of roles. I'm with you.
I watched Adam DeWoo the other day. He rented one of those pontoons. Did you see that video yet?
I haven't watched it yet, no.
Right. And he shows the boat security guys just running up and down Bay Lake. I'm like, that's my job. I want that job so bad. Hey, stop that. One day.
Right. I mean that look, I could in retirement absolutely work there doing something. I would even sweep up trash. I don't care. I think it'd be fun to go to the parks every day. You say that from the outside, and maybe it's not. If I could have my dream job, it would be to go around and make sure light bulbs weren't out. I've said that for a long time. One of my favorite things about Disney is going around and, looking around and seeing that the light bulbs are all working.
Mm-hmm.
Used to drive me nuts at the Yacht Beach Club pool because they had all the bulbs along the houses and a lot of them were out driving on that windmill. Which, interesting segue. So the keynote speaker on Friday was Gwendolyn Rogers, who owns the Cake Bake Shop. And she was amazing because that's the format for the weekend, right? Is Lou will have 4 or 5 speakers a day. And then you break out afterwards. They'll have some activities for you. And then you do what's called table talks, where you can just kind of go from one to the other, learning different things. But Gwendolyn got up and spoke for the better part of an hour and a half and told her story, which is fantastic. And someone said it there, they're not wrong. She is really almost out Disneying Disney in that restaurant.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, speaking of no light bulbs out, it's one of her, she actually mentioned it, said it's one of her pet peeves.
She posted a picture of it this week.
That's right. I did. Yeah. We went there night before last, Sunday night. We had dinner there. And again, I ate the po' boy again, which she said she was thinking about taking off the menu, and I begged her not to.
Oh, please don't.
And so she kind of came in and talked about her business. And, Lisa Donata Glasser, who, if you don't know who that is, you should go buy her art. She's done candles, but she's kind of put that on hiatus right now. She takes these beautiful, gorgeous, fine art
nice
pictures from the park. Something you could have. Some of them you wouldn't even know were Disney if you didn't know that they were Disney. She talked about resilience, and that really seemed to be a theme for everyone who was there who's successful. Lots and lots of no's. Gwendolyn talked about how she tried to get a bank loan. She was fortunate enough to have someone kind of say, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this building for you, and you can put your bakery in here, but you have to decorate it." And, crying in her car after going. Look, yeah. See, Karen says she has Lisa's candles on the way. Way to go. It's saying no, but the seventh bank said yes. And that's all we need, right? One yes. When I sell a house, I just need one offer. I don't need 10. I just need one good one to sell the house. What else did we, Saturday? Maybe Gwendolyn was, it doesn't matter. We also had Jason Sorrell, who is a retired Imagineer. And he was incredible. Like, he told this George Lucas story. I don't want to tell it in case we can get him on the podcast. I don't want to spoil it, but he was fascinating, and he went way over his allotted time and was great. But he worked on Star Tours. Hey, there's Caleb. We were wondering where you were. Caleb, we got to get together this week so I can get you ready for next week. I'll reach out to you sometime tomorrow. But he worked with Johnny Depp. He worked, I believe it was on that pirate thing they had over at Hollywood Studios for a while, the kind of walkthrough. But he directed Johnny Depp for that, and he wrote scripts, and he talked about, and if you go back and listen to him on Lou's podcast, then you can hear this story. So I hadn't heard the George Lucas one, but he talked about it, and I told my kids this. I don't know if I mentioned it, but one of my kids had an internship at Pixar, and he did some incredible stuff at Disney, and then they had him go away. Like they kind of told him, look, you need to go out in the world and get some more experience and then come back, right? And that's got to be a hard thing to hear when you're already there. You've already done some pretty good stuff and think you're doing really well. And the next thing you know, the people you thought were supporting you are telling you, hey, you need to move out for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So he talked for a long time and told his entire story, which is incredibly inspirational. We had Jeff C. If you don't follow him and you like anything about, especially AI, that guy's a genius.
Yes, he is.
He's really fascinating. He has a great show geared towards creators, I think, but on Fridays at 11 that I very seldom miss. And he's always fascinating, really funny guy, told some great stories. Paul Gowder, who has powwows.com. And this is what I'm working on. This is my goal for the next couple of weeks, is to really boost my email subscription list up. So please subscribe if you're listening. I meant to make a QR code to put up, but if you go to butmostlydisney.com, there's a link. And if you follow me on Facebook, I just posted a link in there. So my goal is to have 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I think I have 30 now. Yes, autocorrect is done. And Karen knows. Karen, I owe you a shirt too. So I'll DM you about that. But I'm going to do a little trivia contest each week and send a little something out to the winner. Andrew Prince, whose birthday it is. I don't think he'll be listening. I hope he's out eating cake and celebrating. But I finally got his shirt to him, and I need to get Karen hers because she won the contest for correcting I wish I could blame autocorrect, but I'm afraid it's me. I'm not a great speller, and certainly not a details guy, so it's hard. But the real thing, like Lou does on WDW Radio, is he's built this community, and he draws people in who, people were crying. Like, what kind of business meeting do you go where there's tears of joy and people are sad to leave each other and their hugs? And you end up with 49 new friends from going to this thing. And it's just unbelievable. If you ever wanted to write a book, which I guess is still content creation, lulu.com had someone there talking about how easy that is to do with self-publishing. I am not going to write a book. No one wants to read my book, I can assure you. But these speakers are fantastic. Lou's amazing. You get some one-on-one time with him, certainly. And his story is certainly compelling. It's really a great, great Disney weekend. And I love it. This is my second one. That's how much I like it. So I went last year. I went this year. I imagine I'll go next year. My wife also got to come with me, which was cool. Because she's till tomorrow. This is my last day of having a full-time nurse. My wife goes back to work tomorrow, and I'm not thrilled about it. What are you going to do? You got to count your blessings. I'm happy to have been.
Yes, yeah.
So really, it's a great weekend with some business strategies for no matter what you do or who you do it with or what kind of thing you want to do. Now, what does that mean for us? So I'm not really sure because I'm not really a planner, and it's a struggle for me. I threw out a post on Facebook to subscribe to the newsletter, but Karen, you might already be subscribed. But there is a little trivia question in it. So just if you Google But Mostly Disney, I think we own that now. I don't think anything else comes up. So there is a web page. It's not a very good one, and I don't know how much attention I'm going to give that. But there is a landing page on there where you can sign up for the newsletter. And I'm going to try to send that out on Tuesday each week before the podcast. So we have the podcast. If you're here, you obviously know that. And we're going to continue doing that weekly. There's also, I have a YouTube channel, and I try to put out a bunch of short videos here and there with some tips or tricks or, little things here and there. Hopefully maybe just sometimes just funny, sometimes interesting. And then one long form video, which I try to do on Sunday nights. I have one premiering right now. The editing takes a long time. It's a lot of work for a part-time gig. So if I had my dream, if I were writing some goals down of what I want, my absolute goal would be to go to Disney once a month and have our little adventures here pay for it. That's the plan. And trying to find some revenue streams that don't bother anybody. I don't want to ask for money. I don't want to have a Patreon. I do have some shirts, which you can find up at mostlydisney.com. They used to show up below the videos, but I'm having some technical difficulties. And I spent a lot of time on that today and still couldn't figure it out. And then drag Andrew along with me, if I can.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's got me to where I'm looking at changing my page a little bit on YouTube, and I just got to, as they say, and you've told me, just make videos and post them, So I have the car side of things. I'm getting ready to do a truck update on my truck I'm redoing, Big Al. And then, other things I like are golf and just being with my family. So you may see a video of me playing golf or something that I think somebody might enjoy seeing and watching. But we've talked about next year what we're going to do with our annual pass. I think I'm going to keep it. And there may be a few more solo trips for me, just with my wife hopefully changing jobs. We don't know yet. But my daughter, like I said, her birthday is today as well. And she's to the point now where it's all about her friends. So dad and mom have been kind of kicked to the curb a little bit. But hopefully we'll get some new content. But I just want to do the same thing. I eventually want my page to be able to pay for itself and pay for my passes and going down there. Because like Tater, I live in Charleston, so it's a 6-hour drive for me. I wish the dream is to live down there, but right now we're here and we just have to make do with what we got.
Yeah. And so the most interesting, not the most interesting, but an interesting thing is one of the speakers said that Lorne Michaels, when asked about Saturday Night Live, said we don't put the show on because it's ready. We put the show on because it's 11:30, right? So, we are always our own worst critics by far. And if I know Andrew struggled with this, I think we all do, but if you sit there and try to get it perfect, it's never going to happen. It's kind of why I love this live video, right? There's no editing. If I make a mistake, it just becomes part of the show.
Yes, it is.
And I've leaned into my mistakes, hence the contest for if you find grammatical or spelling errors in anything I do, just send me a DM and I'll put your name in a hat for a drawing for a shirt each month. But if I waited until I liked these videos or waited until I thought I was ready, I'd never get any of this done. And some of this, honestly, is just is showing up, right? Consistently showing up, which is why I'm going to try to, like Andrew was saying, we're going to try to keep it to Tuesdays so that you always know Tuesday's the day, not Saturday, not Sunday, not Friday. And if it doesn't happen on Tuesday, then we'll see you next Tuesday.
I like Karen's shirt idea, Start in France, because I know the meaning behind that.
That's right.
When we go to Epcot, we walk in the back gate.
If that's what you want, I will make it for you, Karen. You just let me know. Yeah. Well, I mean, and so Karen brings up these water fountain reviews. Look, it's hard to be creative. It's hard to be funny all the time. It's and if you are funny, then someone says, "Hey, say something funny," and you end up going, it's difficult to be put on the spot. And then when you're trying to do that every single day and be interesting, and another thing that Lou talks about is not looking at the numbers. So I definitely don't do that with the podcast. I cheat a little bit on some of the social media stuff, but it's really more for to see what flops and what doesn't and get some feedback. which I mean, you're welcome to do in the comments. Like if you hate something, let me know. I'm okay with it. And if you love something, that's fine too.
It's funny talking about videos and stuff. One of my best videos isn't a Disney video. It's a so one of my cars is a race car. So I did a seatbelt review for this new seatbelt that came out, 5-point harness. That's got the most reviews out of any video I've done. Is a 5-minute review on a set of seatbelts. And I know you told me yours was a golf bag that you did. So it's just weird how things people pick up on, and it's not even what your main drive is off your channel. It could be something totally different.
It's absolutely true. Yeah, my 20,000 views on a golf bag review, and I still get comments on it. You know, actually, there is one Disney video up top, but I think if you don't, I don't count that one. But 1, 2, 3, so it takes to get down to 4 to get to a Disney long video that people love.
Mm-hmm.
I know that shorts, my biggest one is this stupid Sour Patch Kid thing that I made a long time ago. It's just unbelievable. Like I do not know why, and I get a comment a week on it. But that's the thing
crazy.
about, like, if no one watches, if no one comes, I'll still do it just to talk to Andrew.
Yeah.
And now I've gotten used to it. And trust me, there are Tuesdays where I'm laying on the couch and I think to myself, I'm just going to text Andrew and not do it. I don't feel like doing it. I'm just tired. I got a fire going. I don't want to be in here. But then once we start, it's like, boom, you're in love with it. And it's a lot of fun. Like, I don't know if anyone wants to hear what I'm saying right now about this. It's just what's going on. And it's going to be interesting. I saw the other day that, you know, a lot of times, you know, you chase these algorithms and try to see, but what's great. But just like I'm telling you now that this stupid watermelon Sour Patch is a big video. I don't know what's going to be good. You know, I pour my heart and soul into these things, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. The ones that I think are great, no one likes.
Right.
The water fountain reviews was a throwaway. It was something I was just doing to have something different to do. And I get asked about it all the time. Because you never know who's listening. Yeah.
Very true.
And then you get something like this. And then Karen says she's counting down the hours. And that's the thing, man, is it's something that I wanted. You know, I'm making the show that I wanted, right? This is what Andrew and I want to do. We want to talk about Disney. We want you guys to talk about it. That's why we do it with the live chat. It's a lot of fun. It's fun interacting. It's certainly better than me doing it by myself. Gosh, that was so bad. I went back and turned that on the other day and tried to watch it, and I can't even look at it.
It's cool. I get to work because a lot of people at their desks listen to podcasts. They put their earbuds in. They go for walks around the dealership and stuff like that. And I've had 4 or 5 people, because I share it on my personal page, and they'll go, "Hey, man, that's a good podcast y'all had the other night." I said, "Oh, you actually listened to it?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, cool." So it's just good to see people that I work with who I didn't know were Disney people. Some of them I did know, some of them I didn't know. And some of them are like, "You're crazy for doing it." I'm like, I enjoy it. It gives me something to do. I get to share things I read, because like you, I listen to Disney music at work. I listen to it in my car. I listen to podcasts in my car. You know, my wife, who wasn't a Disney person until she met me, she'll share stuff with me, and I share stuff with her. And it's just, you know, it's become a part of our life. And to be able to share this stuff with people is, you know, I'm like, I'll tell people at work, here's some useless Disney knowledge. And they're like, "How do you remember all this stuff?" I'm like, "Because it's what I like to do."
Well, and you know, the thing of it is anyone can do this, right? Like my wife really wants to do a podcast, and she's much smarter than I am. And she has a book in her. She wants to write a book, which is why she loved doing the Momentum Weekend, because it's all about creativity and getting started. I mean, I find it hard to beve, like, lose such an inspiration. I find it hard to believe that he knew it was going to work, right? Like, because that's the thing I
Yeah.
think about. I spend a lot of money on this. I mean, we have a budget. I don't go crazy. We're not staying at the Four Seasons. If there's a month I can't go, I can't go. But in the back of my mind, the nice thing with the podcast is the podcast can go on forever, right? The podcast doesn't cost anything. But in order to be informative, it can't all be just internet research. It's got to be some practical experience. Um, and so when do you pull the plug, right? Like when do you say, I just can't do it anymore? When do you say, hey, I just can't afford to spend any more money on this? I don't know. I really don't. It's not yet.
Well, I will say we had a nice talk the other night, wife and I, about ticket prices went up, and having a daughter in school, the holidays is kind of our big travel time. We have to play the school schedule, but now that tickets have gone up to $209 on holidays, it's like, okay, now we revamp it and go, okay, instead of going down 4 and 5 times a year, do we go down a couple of mini trips, like on the long weekends when Monday's a teacher work day, or Friday's an early day out? We just go down and say, okay, we're going to go to one park instead of park hopping all four or park hopping two, because we got to kind of figure out our game. Do we stay at the instead of staying on property? Do we stay at the Drury now, and just because I have an annual pass and it's parking's free? Do we drive in instead of staying on property and taking a bus? There's big decisions to make now, but we can still have the magic. We still have the time down there. We just got to figure out our dollars and cents to make it work.
Well, I will tell you this: price shop those. So when I need to save money, I do All Stars, but sometimes even the All Stars aren't the cheapest. Like I
Right.
found Art of Animation sometimes is cheaper. Maybe it's a group. I'm not sure how Disney does it. We stayed at the Hilton, Lake Buena Vista this time for Momentum, and that was a nice hotel. That's walking. You'll have two bridges to cross because you'll cross Hotel Plaza and then whatever
Mm-hmm.
that other road is over to walk over to Disney Springs. Beautiful pool. I didn't film anything. I didn't do a review on it. And as I was leaving, oh yeah, I probably should have. They got a Benihana downstairs. That was really
Yeah,
good.
we stayed there. It's awesome.
So that was a great hotel. And I think I ended up, Expedia was the cheapest and I looked everywhere, $200 a night, 210, something like that. I got to watch fireworks in bed. But if you have an annual pass, a lot of times that 40% off of Disney properties, because again, it did have a resort fee and there is a parking
Mm-hmm.
fee, which I
Yep.
have not gotten back yet. So it adds up. I used to like the Wyndham a lot. I still do. But I found it wasn't, when you added all the fees in, it was either the same price, if not a little bit
More.
more. And if I didn't drive, I had to take Ubers. So then, because their bus service isn't great. It's not
Mm-hmm.
bad, but it's not great.
So I have a friend of my sister's that does all kinds of vacation planning. She does Disney, Universal, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, all of it. And when I met her, she was planning a trip for us. And I said, okay, if you'll book us to stay at the Holiday Inn, we're going to drive down the day before, and then we'll check into, I think it was Animal Kingdom Lodge the next day. She says, why are you staying off property? I was like, well, it's cheaper. She says, add it up. She said, you're getting she goes, I'm assuming you're going to get a fireworks view. It'd be crazy not to if you're going to stay there for a night. She goes, add it all up. And I did. And it was for an extra $32 at that time frame, this is like 2016. Um, we could stay at another night at Animal Kingdom, just not have a park ticket attached to it. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that earlier? I just never thought of it. Y'all just think of staying off property is cheaper, but it usually isn't if you do your homework.
That's
And now to have an annual pass, I know several times last year they had specials and it was like 45% off for annual pass holders at different times of the year. And we're like, well, let's go because we're never going to get to stay at the beach club for $300 a night. which was
Right.
what the rate for um, Grand Destino was. And I'm like, well, I love both, but if I can walk to, you know, Hollywood Studios and walk to Epcot, those are our two favorite parks in our family. Of course, Magic Kingdom is everybody's favorite, but if we're going to go down, we're going to go to those two parks regardless. I'd rather be in walking distance.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who have thrown crazy money around now who are starting to rein it in a little bit and take a look at it, right? And see what we're really spending on this stuff. And I love it. I'll find a way to do it. But I like everybody, I do have a real life I have to take care
Yeah.
of first.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
I was watching, there's a fella, he goes by Dev now. He used to be Prince Dev, whatever. He's another YouTuber like Tim Tracker, but he showed the cost of some stuff that went up. And Grand Floridian is under construction right now, and the price for a regular room went up 158%.
wow.
Right, and it's under construction. It's like, what in the heck is going on? I just thought it was. I thought that just he said that and just stuck with me, and I was like, wow, that's just. But you know, people are going to pay that. So
Will they? I mean, I think
I
these
think the family that goes once every 5 years is going to pay it because they're going to save their money up to go.
well, I mean, it's crazy. We had, so as I mentioned, we had dinner at the cake bake shop, and while I do think it's expensive, as I said that out loud to someone else, I was like, well, I'm not sure it's that much more expensive than anything else. You know,
It's not now, not nowadays. No,
I mean, that po' boy's $36. It's a $36 sandwich, but it's 2 meals, right? So now you're down to 18. It's a dozen shrimp, on the Gambino's
a
bread,
roll
which
that's
is
shipped
flown
in
in
from
twice a week,
Louisiana.
and then some delicious French fries.
So we went to a local restaurant here in town. It's on the water because we're in Charleston. Everything is, we try to get on the water. And I had blackened grouper, and it was $42.
I do
But
love
I'll go to
grouper.
Disney and go, that's expensive, but I'll pay that at home at a normal restaurant I've been to before. So it's really, different than what I'm paying here in town, which Charleston, yes, is a tourist town, but, it's not. Yes, Gideon's cookies are ridiculously expensive. It's flour, sugar, and eggs.
Karen, here's something, and this is why I love the chat, because it can just go anywhere. That's why every time I put something up online, I'm like, come control the show. You are absolutely in charge. I mean, that's the whole point. While I love to share it, and that's my point, that's my contribution, and Andrew's, this is for you guys. Like, I want this to be your show. It's your community, and I want you guys to, if you don't like what we're saying, please tell us. I've got a big ego. I take criticism very, very well. So we've never flown the kids as a group to Disney. We've always driven. And we drove down this weekend, and it's 12 hours for me. Now, look, it's easier now because my son is in Jacksonville. So, for instance, this time it was easy to justify. We brought some stuff down for him, his surfboard and some stuff that he didn't get to take with him when he left for school in August. We were supposed to go down in September, but I took a detour through the hospital. And then we stayed with some friends in St. Augustine. So that, they didn't charge us for that, which is nice. And then we went over to Disney. But I like driving better. I think flying's a hassle. I'm an overpacker. I take too much. Like, I took enough shirts for probably 4 trips. And I like to keep them on hangers. I hang dry t-shirts. I'm a weirdo. And so I can take whatever I want with me in the car. A cooler. Disney only has Powerade. I don't like Powerade. I like Gatorade. So just little things. And then I have a car, and I don't mind driving to the parks. It is fun to not have a car there. It's fun to be on the buses and the monorail and the boats. And really, I do kind of like that adventure as well. But if I have my way, we're driving.
I've
We
shared
drove.
this before. I think part of my vacation is getting in my car and driving. So
Yeah,
that's kind of starts.
we play that craft 10-year anniversary thing with Dean Jones every year. We've got traditions on where we stop. But
Yep,
I
we
did it
do
as a
too.
kid too, right? Like my grandmother and I, she well, Karen, we've talked about this a little bit. I spent my summers in Boothbay Harbor in Maine, and we'd drive up there, and then she'd come back, and then she'd go to Sanibel Island in Florida. So she was 3 months in Virginia Beach, 3 months in Maine, 3 months in Virginia Beach, 3 months in Florida. She had it made, and she drove everywhere. I was in charge of the map. A map was a piece of paper you unfolded, or if you really want to go back, I was in charge of the AAA triptych.
Oh, shit trip. Yep.
And I remember going with my grandmother to get those triptychs at the AAA office, and then having the guy, he took it, folded it out, did the green
Mm-hmm.
highlighter, showed you where the speed traps were, showed you where construction was. I mean, this
Yep.
guy was literally Google Maps on the fly. Maybe more like
Yeah, my
Waze.
my mother-in-law still gets those. Um, she went to Ohio for a family wedding, and she stopped and got her triptych before she went out of town.
Karen, Bupe.
Habe?
It's so funny. They call Maine down east. And I think it's just Maine. I don't think it's all of New England, but they call it down east. And I know, Caleb, we talked about this last week. See, squirrel, right in the middle of a sentence. You had said I saw you were watching those films. I just adore Dean Jones. Last night I fell asleep to Horse in the Gray Flannel Suit, and it's getting
Oh,
cold.
yes.
Getting cold now, so I can watch Snowball Express.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you another one that I've fallen in love with that I found late was Million Dollar Duck.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, you get to watch it. It's classic. It's absolutely classic. And I forget the guy's name who's his neighbor. You'll recognize him from Love Boat and a bazillion other. That's my favorite thing. I haven't done any of those movies. I was reviewing all the live action movies, and I like looking and seeing how many of them, what episode of whatchamacallit, of Love Boat they were on. What is that guy's name? Joe Flynn's in it, who I love. Nope, it's not Lee Montgomery. Darn it. Tony Roberts.
Oh,
And,
yes. I see that now. Yep.
and he is super groovy. Like saying bread for money. It's pretty funny. He was in
Pete
Serpico.
Renaday is in it?
Yeah, it's classic, dude.
I didn't know that.
I love anything with Joe Flynn. Anything with Medfield College in it makes me happy, or that town. Cat for Outer Space is classic too. It seems like Dean Jones should have been in Cat from Outer Space, and yet he wasn't. All right, Caleb got me off track. Oh, Down East. Okay, yeah. So, because it's funny, I think, well, being a Southerner, Yankees get a bad rap, but I think New England, for a Southern person, has this reputation of moving really fast and being a little more high, just a different pace than in the South. And yet Maine, as soon as you get there, boy, it slows right down. And they have kind of like a modified Boston accent, sort of, Bahaba, that kind of thing. But it has a drawl to it, and there's a much slower. Maine's one of my favorite places on the planet. It's awesome. Oh, the guy that was in Mayberry. So Karen's asking, Dean Jones was not in Cat from Outer Space. It was, if only I could type faster. This is really good audio. And I leave it in. Everybody to enjoy. Ken Berry. Ken Berry was in Cat from Outer Space. And wasn't he in Mayberry RFD? And
Yes,
F Troop.
he was.
And Mama's Family.
Yes. Oh, yep. He was a Mama's Family.
Hello there.
The weird thing, was that you?
Hello there.
Yeah, that's my phone going off.
Oh, okay. I was trying to play some audio for Andrew earlier, and I couldn't figure out how to do it through Ecamm, so I'll figure it out for next week. And I thought he'd figured it out, and that was going to make me really mad.
No.
But I love these live discussions. Sometimes I like these better than when we're really organized and have a topic. Next week, I think I'm going to say it out loud. He agreed to it, but I think Jeremy Stein's going to come on next week.
Oh,
so
awesome.
If you have a suggestion for a topic with Jeremy Stein, let me know. And I want to get, there's a couple other people I want to get on who've offered. So I'm going to try to line up some guests. Andrew and I have been on a good run of doing this by ourselves, but I do enjoy Mama's Family. Yes. See, this is the problem with the chat, but I think it's good.
That's awesome.
Again, if you're in your car right now wondering what's going on, this is why you got to join the chat, man. You got to come by. Anybody can have an outline. I saw something, a review for a teleprompter, a podcasting teleprompter. I'm like, what in the world would anyone use that for?
Mr. Monotone wants to use that.
That would mean I'd have to do something besides turn this on, which is pretty much what we do. Sometimes we do some research. Sometimes I'm coming in hair on fire, and realizing I haven't told anybody we were going live. So that's, again, to reiterate, I'm making a promise to you that we will be on Tuesdays at 7:30. Almost every Tuesday. And that's good because I can stop saying Tuesday-ish online, which I was getting tired of saying anyway. And then what do you guys want to hear? If you have a topic, let me know. Something we could research for you, something you want to hear our opinions about, something you want to voice your own opinion about. Caleb, I've got a job for you. Karen, pick a topic and we'll get you back on the show. Because you were a great guest and are a wonderful fan. Karen sent me a nice picture. She sent me a card in the hospital, which was really touching. I told folks at Momentum that that's how I realized I was successful at this. That I didn't even know people knew how to buy stamps anymore. Like it came in the mail. I'm like, what kind of dark corner of the internet did you have to go find that? How to send a card. And then I got a nice picture. That's right. And then I got a nice picture that Sean drew of Mickey Mouse, and that's on my fridge, still on my fridge, Karen. So I really appreciate it, and that's better than any amount of money or any amount of. I mean, obviously, I'm not going for clout, but any other metric you could find to see whether you've made it or not. I did get recognized in the park for the first time.
Oh, cool.
I thought that was pretty neat. Riding the ferry. And someone came up and said, hey, aren't you but mostly Disney? And I thought that was pretty cool. So we had a lovely conversation and talked on the ferry boat ride. And I thought that was pretty neat. So, but it's not someone I've ever seen in the chat or made a comment or seen like anything. I mean, you just don't know who's listening. Lou talked about that at Momentum. And though I think he was name dropping just a little bit, not really. If you know Lou, he's pretty humble. But he had said, he's met Bob Iger on a couple occasions. And, he walked up and said, hi, Mr. Iger. I'm Lou Mongello. I have a podcast. And Bob said, I know who you are. I listened to the podcast. And that kind of blew away. And you would never know, right? That's the wonderful thing about the internet, and I love the internet. We talked about that there's a lot of negativity out there. And that's another thing that I wanted to make sure we did here, that we were super positive, because I got enough negative in my life. I come here and go to Disney to escape all that. So except for the lobby of the Polynesian, which is horrible, and Disney, whoever decided that, should drown. I'm going to bury them in the wave pool that never happened across the water from. But I digress. Overall, except for that, I don't want to be a Disney apologist. If there's something I absolutely hate, we can talk about it, but I'm still going to do it in a way that that is happy. You can be happily negative if that's a thing. And my Facebook feed is positive. I didn't really do it on purpose, but if I run through it right now, it's mostly Disney. Get it? But it's friends, family, and then kind of nice stuff. Who is Jeremy Goff live right now?
What?
Yeah, I just popped this up. Jeremy Goff's live right now. We should end this show and go listen to him.
Yeah. Oh, he's playing the guitar. Must
He's
have been
doing-
impromptu because I didn't see no. Usually, post he's going on.
He's doing the 50th anniversary of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Jeremy Goff is an incredibly talented artist, and you should all email him right now.
Yeah, tell him to start selling his stuff again.
Tell him to start selling his stuff again because he's spectacular.
Yes, it is. I have a wall of golf in my room.
He did some really, really neat stuff, and it's a bummer that he's taking a break from that. But I think every Friday night we'll just plug everybody else. Every Friday night he
Golf stock.
he does golf stock, and he sits and plays sometimes for hours.
You name it, he'll play it.
Yep. And he's a really funny guy. I think he's done some stand up. He and his wife are amazing people. But that's what popped up first on my Facebook. Then there's an ad. Carolwood Barn, another ad. REM. I was a big REM fan in high school. Still am. They were probably my favorite band.
Everybody hurts.
So I haven't found anything political or awful in going to it. And I've made some great friends. If it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for Lou, frankly, I wouldn't have met these new 50 people. And it goes on all year long that I can literally send somebody an email right now from that Momentum group, and they'll fire it back. I can ask a question. Ecamm, the software we use to broadcast this podcast, is because of Katie Fox, who I met last year at Momentum, and she's answered. She's been on the show. She came on, and we joke that it's a community that comes with a piece of software. They're doing similar things, and I think I'm drawn to those kinds of people, and those kinds of entities. So, all right, I am rambling a little bit, so maybe I'll.
Yeah.
You said
Maybe
you
have
had
some
some questions about Momentum. Did you have things you wanted to know?
I just, was the whole aspect of like, is it I think just watching Lou's video, I believe it's more like you have roundtable discussions between everybody. And then I'm sure there's breaks and stuff that you can talk. I just didn't know if there was like with the speakers, if there was like a lot of one-on-one as small groups, or if it was like everybody, then everybody discussed.
That's a great question.
I saw his videos, but I didn't know.
And so, and Caleb, I agree. I think you should go. And there are people who were there who didn't say one word all weekend. There are people who, they did get up and introduce themselves, but other than that, there are a lot of introverts there, right? So basically the format is the doors open at 7. You can go in there and sit and kind of get started. 8:00, Lou gets up. Then there's a speaker, almost always a Q&A after that. And then sometimes there's kind of like some workshop activities. And then, a break, 15 minutes, next speaker. Lunch. One day we went over to Disney Springs. Other days we ate, he provided lunch for us. Excuse me. That I will edit out later. Sandwiches, that kind of thing. He has snacks in there because it's Lou. Can't not have snacks. Then in the afternoon, another speaker, and then table talks, which are really kind of freestyle. You'll have a speaker at each table and out in the hallway, and you can go and, if you want to work on email, then you go see Paul and sit with him and listen. Or if you want to learn, like I'm going to change up what I want to start posting. It's another one of my goals, clips each week of our podcast. So I'm going to buy the script, and then that will cut that into little clips, and you can edit it quickly. And then that's a nice reel and something to put out, because I would like to grow our community. Caleb and Andrew and Karen will always be the superstars, but I like it when someone else pops in. You know, I think it's neat. And it just adds to the conversation. But don't worry, you guys will always have a special place and top priority. So don't think you're going to lose your spot from that. Or if you want to work on, you know, the keynote speakers, you know, they don't stay necessarily the whole time. We had a CPA this time, Scott Cornelius. If you're looking, which is a great name because it makes me think of Yukon Cornelius, and we're coming up on Christmas. But
the London Bumble.
You know, there's some stuff I got to do with insurance because I have a little revenue from Facebook and a little revenue from YouTube, and my personal assets could be in jeopardy. You know, I mean, just little things you don't think about and how to do it. And Lou teaches it because it is a business, right? It is your brand, it is your business, and your passion all in once. And then we usually end around 5.
That's cool.
Maybe a little bit later, but there's lots of time to go sit out in the hallway and talk. This year they did a bourbon tasting late at night, like 8 to 10. Paul and I think Jeff brought some pretty fancy bourbons in, and that was another great way to sit and socialize in the evening. I left and went over to Magic Kingdom, came back for a minute, and then went back to Magic Kingdom to ride Tron. And if you're wondering, I don't think I'd make a special trip to go ride Tron. It was pretty cool. I mean, it's a great ride anyway. The red lights were neat, and the little kind of overlay was cool. But I loved it, but it wasn't amazing. Like apparently like the spaceship Earth refurb, which I still haven't found a difference on that yet.
Never will. I need to go eat some cake being paged.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
It's a birthday. All right, guys, join us next Tuesday. Hopefully Jeremy Stein from Main Street Magic. If you don't listen to his podcast, go check him out. I enjoy him and Jeremy and Rhonda more than a little bit Fonda. They have a theme song I can't get out of my head. I've been singing it all day. So I think he's going to come next week and chat with us. Please, I just have a new long Disneyland YouTube video that just premiered as we started this show. Please go watch that and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And then if you don't mind, maybe Spotify or somewhere, you know, leave us a review on the podcast. I really have never asked for that or thought about it much, but I do need to start trying to grow it a little bit so you guys can help. And I think that's it.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
Yep. Tell your daughter happy birthday.
I will. Thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Caleb. See you guys next week.
See you, Karen. Have a good week.